Greetings, Rackheads. Dirk here, and I'm here to talk about hacking Rack. Today's all about the catalog. Why a catalog? With VCV Rack, you can install all the plugins your heart desires. When you install them, you can either use the plugin manager or you can install them manually from the plugin developer's GitHub page. Once you do that, they all get stashed in the plugins folder. And the plugins folder is dependent on the operating system you're using. So here's a listing of all the plugins I've got installed, and I'm on a Mac, so they're under Documents Rack Plugins. I've got approximately 100 installed here, and it's terrific that I can install so many plugins, but it's difficult to tell what I've got here. Now, I could look at a particular folder and then go back on the internet and look things up, but developers don't have a script to follow per se. There is no standard for documenting your modules. So what the catalog, with air quotes, provides is a way to kind of capture basic information about these plugins. And you can gather that while Rack is running. Now, there's two levels of detail that you can get access to, so I want to give you a little bit of an explanation about that. So I want to show you the catalog and then talk a little bit about where it came from. So I can just cat or type it out, and you'll see that it shows stuff about plugins and modules. And if you look at the bottom of the list here, and I like to use a free open source tool called JQ that lets you do formatting and manipulation of JSON files. So I'll go ahead and pipe this through JQ to make it look a little bit nicer. But you'll see at the bottom of my list, I happen to have stumbled upon an animated circuits noises plugin. The specific one is AC Noises. Its friendly name is Noises. And you can see that the tags associated with that include name, sample and hold, slew limiter, random, LFO. And what's kind of cool about this is you'll also see width there. I also want to take you to the top of this catalog file and show you what's up there. So I can do that in a similar way. I can pass some extra details to JQ. I can tell it to delete temporarily the plugins. And this shows you kind of high-level stuff that it captures. So it captures things like the application, VCV Rack, and the version. It talks to me about the width and height of my screen at the time I took the catalog snapshot. This is kind of handy if you want to, like in the docs example I showed you in a previous video, I had it wrap based on my screen width. And if I were running this on a ginormous desktop monitor, I would see much bigger numbers for width and height, and it would capture that appropriately. And it shows me where my VCV Rack is running. And of course, this is not the official version, this is my fork version. And it tells me that I've got 92 plugins. Okay, I'm not quite at 100, but I'm close. This metadata gives me a whole lot of opportunity to do creative things like reporting, composing patches. In a prior video in the docs example, that shows an example of composing patches, not interactively, but from the catalog. So I want to show you how I actually get the catalog file, because it doesn't come with Rack. I get it by running my version of Rack, and I have to type Rack instead of run. And I'm going to go ahead and start with a new patch just to clear things out. In my forked version of VCV Rack, I have a couple of new options. First of all, I've renamed Revert to Reopen, but I've also added this catalog option. And what the catalog does is it generates the catalog. Now, the full catalog, including the width data, can only be generated inside VCV rack. And nerd warning here, it can only be inside the primary thread. So you can't create a full catalog with width inside a plugin module. It has to be created here. So here's the way it works. You click on the catalog button, and there's a hotkey for it as well. And you'll get this prompt just to confirm that you want to do it. And I originally called this file meta.json. I just need to update my dialog here so it says catalog.json. But if you're ready to go, you can either hit cancel if you change your mind, or go back up and click catalog, go ahead and click OK to generate the catalog. And it takes a little bit if you've got a lot of plugins. So you'll see that took some time. It went ahead and generated my catalog file for me. I can hit OK to exit. And at that point, I'm going to go ahead and just hop out of rack. And sure enough, the catalog file is there. Now, if it hadn't have been there prior to that, it would be there now. I just happen to have already run the catalog feature. So the easiest way to create the complete catalog is to use my forked version of VCV Rack. And where's that? Well, I'll remind you, I showed you in the last video. It's on my GitHub page. So if I pop up to my GitHub page, you'll see it's right here. Okay. And you would build this just the same way that you build the normal rack. It walks you through all the nice details down here. Now, I will remind you that there's an important step in here. Sorry about that. Down here where it reminds you to do a git checkout some version. And when you do this to build your fork of VCV Rack, you want to say git checkout v0.6. Again, it's 0.6. So just follow the steps here for your platform, build away, and you will have a version of Rack with the catalog facility that will generate a complete catalog. In the next video, I'll walk you through how to create a partial catalog. It looks just like the real catalog with one difference. There's no width data. And that's a wrap for today. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you for the next video.